And so as I'm sitting here during my prep period in class, you know, a lot of these institutions, man, they put a lot of surface information up and they put a lot of things in front of, they program our kids, but they don't really go into the deeper, understanding, the depth of certain things. So we come out of our institutionalized educational system with a surface knowledge of things. So a lot of y'all seen these posters before, okay? Very informative. So Mesopotamia, right? Ancient society. These are part of melanated ancestors as well, right? Part of the original beings. Um, let's just take a look at what they say. Okay, so rise of kingship, law of code of Hammurabi. Okay, they're responsible for mathematics, architecture. Okay, civilized the world's first cities, created writing, invention of the wheel, which was probably super huge at that time, almost reminiscent to like that of fire, right? And in astronomy. So we was already reading the universe, the stars, solar system. Okay, we was inventive. We were already communicating through a language, or at least through writing and symbols. Civilized, the first civilized group that definitely had architecture, spirituality, right? So then let's move it along. Now we got Egypt. And everyone familiar with Egypt, right? Especially those people of color. Well, let's just take a look at our ancestral, what they give us credit for. Hieroglyphics. Okay, so we're talking about symbols, another form of communication. Public administration, so that's another form of organization. A calendar, now we're organizing time. Large scale irrigation, another huge technological advance, similar to that of fire. Then we go to the religion. Okay, so we had a spiritual understanding. Papyrus, which is paper. So not only could we created forms of communication, but we invented something to transfer that onto mathematics. Huge, the earth, the universe, everything revolves around numbers. So we already understood those things. And then shipbuilding. 75% of this earth is water. So we learned how to navigate the earth, this realm, far before anyone else started to. So then we move it along here, and they say China. So let's see what they give Chinese ancestry credit to. Okay, porcelain. Invention of paper. Well, papyrus was already created, but okay. Block printing. Okay, so basically printing on stones, which was already created. Okay. The Great Wall. Okay, so now we're starting to see signs of division from within the humanity, right? That wall was built to keep people out, not to bring people together. Philosophy. So Confucius, right? So a lot of y'all seen that symbol before, but where do you think that philosophy came from? Prior understanding or prior overstanding, right? Medicine. Okay, Chinese medicine, ancient Eastern medicinal methods definitely prove true. But you know where they got that from, that overstanding. Silk. Okay, so we know Chinese garments adorn a lot of silk. Magnetic compass. A seismograph. Okay, so they were detecting earthquakes back then. That's pretty dope. And metallurgy, okay, just another form of sculpting or art form, right? Like what we already understood. So now let's move it along to Greece. So now we get into introduction to the Caucasian. Let's see what they give them credit for. Science and mathematics, wouldn't you know it? As if we didn't already cover that one already. Philosophy. Okay, so Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, all those dudes get credit for what was already overstood. So it sounds like, Olympic Games. So this was probably one of the first forms of competition amongst humans. So another form of divide, architecture. Okay, this is their architecture. Now remember, architecture wasn't mentioned back here, but you already know. Architecture that can no longer be duplicated still can't be duplicated to this day. We can replicate this. We can replicate this. Then you got sculpture and pottery, which was, obviously that was done before. Literature, although you know the story behind this Trojan horse, and you know a lot about that's more, more chaos and division amongst humanity. Democracy. So now you see the Caucasian figuring out a system to control other humans. Back here, man, we understood freedom. We were about the spiritual beings. We roam free, but as humanity progressed, okay, now it became this control. Let's move forward to the Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire, more Caucasian, the advanced Caucasian, he's given credit for the Julian calendar. Now, the Julian calendar is the calendar that we actually go by to this day, right? So the overstanding back here on the lunar calendar was definitely shifted by modern Caucasian. Okay, Republican government, a belief that the government can be ran of and formed by the people, another form of control of people, okay, the Caucasian construct. System of roads, ability to navigate on land. Now that was pretty huge considering, we were navigating the land and the seas. This probably made land navigation a little bit more convenient and easier, more manageable. So, okay, we can give them that. They took rock that was already present and learned how to lay it down and make it smooth. Dope. Alphabet and the language. Now, anyone that's ever studied etymology or knows anything about languages, you know that the English language is the harshest, has the, in terms of a vibratory perspective, it has the most abrasive energetic output. Okay, it has no flow. Like if you think of a circle compared to a square, okay, a circle is continuous, right? It has a flow. Where a square has these sharp edges, right? These 90-degree angles. It contains energy. So they came up with a language, right? This is part of the way that you use to create mantras for spells. So if you don't understand that your language is harsh or abusive and know how to utilize it and be mindful of it, it could condemn you. The water supply. So they learned how to move water over long distances, okay? We showed them how to irrigate it. They showed us how to transport it, okay? Roman law. So again, another construct of Caucasian meant to control other humans. One of the Caucasian perspectives has always been about control. Military organization. So now we come up with an army, right, of human beings, a group of human beings to do the bidding and the agendas of others. Literature. Okay, so we definitely know that literature said for a second time, right? They want you to know that the Caucasian is definitely about that life, okay? But all of this literature comes from information that was already pre-overstood, okay? And then we have architecture and engineering, right? So they built their columns and their pillars, okay? But they utilized symbology, okay, from which we overstood, our ancestors, and they put it into their own. Let me show you how, one way. Okay, we see these columns here, okay? These columns are synonymous to the male aspect, okay, or the masculine aspect, okay, which is a construct of Egypt. If you know anything about the obelisk is a long, skinny structure with a pyramidal type shape, triangular shape at the top, okay? But what do you see at the top of these pillars? A triangle shape, okay? That could have been flat, but they chose a triangle shape. Interesting, huh? But all of that overstanding comes from ancient overstanding. Okay, the way that they transport the water. Okay, look at the arches. The arches in these columns build support to keep this up instead of filling this whole portion with brick and cement. These arches provide support. Okay, well, let's go back in the past and let's see where we see arches. Okay, and this is only very minuscule, right? The arch in that doorway. Okay, the arch in that doorway. So, time you see some posters like this, right? And they try to show you, they try to give you or attempt to expose you to what each part of humanity, sector of humanity was known for, responsible for, or what they exuded during their existence. Remember, man, everything at the beginning. So if you don't know where you come from, then you have no idea where you are headed.